All right. This video is not going to be for everyone. If you are not ready to hear some tough love about your self-care, hop out of this video, go watch my other videos, go do some self-care, one of those, and then come back when you're ready. We're about to talk about how your self-care might be sabotaging you. There comes a time when your visualizations, your affirmations, your bubble baths, your meditations, and your positive vibes only, and all of that sabotages you, blocks your next level and blocks your growth, your healing. We're going to talk about that today. We're just about to hop right into it. If you're using your self-care as a band-aid to avoid the actual wound, it is sabotage. We're going to go over 3 ways that shows up in your life. Take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. The first way is if you're slapping in self-care instead of doing the messy shadow work. What I see a lot is everyone talks about you need to be high vibe to manifest. You need to be high vibe to magnetize. But what that just ends up creating is this fear and this belief that you cannot be low vibe if you want to manifest your dreams. If you want to have a dream business, you have to be high vibe all the time. And honestly, that's bullshit because we're fucking humans. We're gonna be low vibe sometimes. It is natural. It is the normal part about being a human on this earth, okay? So drop that fear. But if you have that fear, and anytime you experience low vibes, even for a second, you run to go do self-care, that is a way of sabotaging you. And I'm talking about you do this every single time, that you never allow yourself to dip into the low vibe, negative emotions because you fear being low vibe. Whether that's out of the belief of you have to be high vibe, or maybe it's out of the belief of scarcity, that once you get back into that low vibe, you won't be high vibe ever again. You won't be able to crawl out again. So you avoid it by doing self-care. And that self-care is used to avoid the pain and the uncomfortable feelings and sensations that shadow work brings up. It's avoiding low vibe out of the belief, or it's avoiding those low vibe emotions out of the fear of being uncomfortable and doing the messy work. All right, number 2. We are going to the second way your self-care is potentially sabotaging you. If you're using it as a form of procrastination due to fear. For example, let's say you have this dream opportunity, but in order to go forward with that dream opportunity, you need to do this specific task. Maybe it's you need to do prep work for a huge launch. Trust me, I can feel that one. Instead of actually going to do that task and take action, you're like, let me go do some self-care. Well, let me go take a bubble bath. Let me go say some affirmations to get in the right mood. It's okay to do that. But it's when it becomes a pattern and you actually never do that task and you procrastinate like fuck because you're always doing self-care, because you're actually avoiding doing that task because really you're fearful of the unknown. You're fearful of success. You're fearful of failure. Or maybe you don't feel worthy. Maybe you don't trust yourself. Maybe you fear being valued. And all of that fear you want to avoid, so you procrastinate and go do some self-care. That is when it becomes sabotage. Going on to number 3. Whew, okay, this one, oof. I don't know if you're ready. Take a couple deep breaths. About to get really real. If you are doing self-care, it could be subconsciously, all of this could be subconsciously, from the belief of, if I just love myself more, then I will be able to have my dream business, attract the right clients, attract a soulmate, have more money. You are doing self-care to love yourself because you feel you need to love yourself in order to get this outcome because right now you don't feel good enough. Then that is when sabotage becomes. That is when self-care becomes sabotage. Because you're actually going to do your self-care from shame. And if you haven't watched my last video on how shame impacts us and actually blocks our manifestations, go watch that video. Whoa, why are you yelling at me? And that is a heavy one. You're doing your self-care because you feel like you need to love yourself more in order to get something, or in order to be worthy of something, because right now you aren't good enough. That's how you feel, and that's why you're doing your self-care. And again, it could be subconsciously. Then it's sabotaging you. And I want you to take some time and really reflect and get really fucking honest with yourself. Throughout your spiritual journey or your self-growth journey, I highly recommend starting with self-care. You need to be in a good place in order to do the messy work. Start there. But then it gets to a point where your growth and your healing is going to come to a halt, and you're actually going to be sabotaging yourself by only focusing on that. And the next step is to dive into that deep shadow work. And I got you on that. Well, I'll have more videos on that. I'm gonna have some journal prompts in the caption below. Make some time to really reflect on those and be honest with yourself. And I want you, after you're done watching this, DM me, let me know what came up for you, what feelings arose, what thoughts arose. And I'm here to support you if you have any additional questions. I wanna see you win. I wanna see you grow. I wanna see you heal. I wanna see you rise. I wanna see you expand. And that's what I'm here for. That wraps it up. I will talk to you and see you next week.